Because it's one of those things that a business is just not that valuable unless it has its systems and processes. Like otherwise you're just buying a job, right? You may as well set up yourself and just go, oh, all right, I'll just figure it out as I go along. But you can't sell it because no one else can do that work. But you get systems on point and things start to make more sense. It's like, oh, actually, we could have a system for how we do our marketing. We could have a system for how we manage our sales. We could have a system for our advertising. Like even managing Facebook ads. Trying to go through that without a system, it can be done. It's just a lot slower. It's just like this. It's just like this blind Lego challenge. It's frustrating. It's like, man, like, why did they put 2 of those? It maybe, oh, hang on. Yeah. It must have been in the small packet before. Like how, and the hilarious thing is like, you might be looking at your business just going, whoa, how do all these things fit together again? So not only can you not sell it, it traps you in it. You can't ever go on holiday. You're the one that sorts out all the problems. Having more team doesn't actually help that much because they come to you and say, hey, what do I do? And then you got to sort out their work as well. All of that goes away if systems are on point. So it's one of the better investments that you could make, in my personal opinion. Because once you get systems on point, things go faster and you start to get time back. Because the art form out of clockwork was this really cool idea that the first thing is sales. You've got to be able to make sales. And then after that, you've got to be profitable. So your sales have to be more than the cost of your team to produce whatever you were doing, or the cost of the materials plus your team plus your advertising. All has to be less than the value that someone will pay you for that product. And then finally is your time, to actually get your time back. All right. Man, how the heck do you do that? What is that piece? I think it's that. Oh no, there's something else that goes into that. One of these guys? What the heck? All right, I think it's that, and then that. Okay. Now, some kind of thing that goes, okay, yep, that goes into there. So there's a little wheel thing. All right, I'm pretty cool that these gun things, whatever they are going to be replicatable 4 times. So we're going to get rid of a lot of pieces. The other disadvantage of having to do it without the instructions is that I needed to open all of the bags. Like usually when you're building Lego, you can build all of section 1 and all the pieces get used. And as you saw in the first video, like there was all these extra pieces. And now finding bits is more difficult. It's like, oh man, where is that? And is that white or is that gray? Like that's kind of annoying in this picture. That I think it's white. I don't see any gray things like this. All right, it's in one of those. Then we need a holdy piece. Not that. I think it's going to be one of these. I'm going to go with that. That looks good. I did do a Star Wars build one time, maybe like 2 years ago. That was one of those B-Wing fighters. And that was kind of fun. And there was a lot of threading bits together like this. So that's helpful. So even if you haven't had systems and processes in your business, you might, or at least documented ones, you will have experience with sorting stuff out. And once you get it, that you've got to document this stuff and improve it, then that's a massive step forward. Oh, check this out, check this out. Oh, yes. Okay. That actually looks pretty good. Question mark on positioning. All right, it looks like it is. No, surely not. Okay, oh yeah, okay, right. It looks like it is hanging off the edge there. Yes, it is. Okay, so I can confirm from the bottom picture that it's hanging off the edge. That's good. These bottom wings, like being able to see the other side is just so helpful. And that's the interesting thing for me about once you get to see how systems and processes work together, like there's only a few simple principles of it all. So one is copy to use. Like you're going to need a template just like this. So having built this first one, I now have a template to go ahead and do that exact design 3 more times. So that plays out with your systems. When you're trying to build a system, like think of it that you're building a template, and then when you use it, you copy that template to use it. Because if you don't do that, then your template gets all stuffed up. You know, it's just like making a copy of a document. And then to use the document, you go ahead and you can make a copy, and then you can fill it in. It doesn't wreck your original. All right. Also notice that once I've worked this first one out, it's a lot quicker to do it again. And so that's one of the interesting things with systems documentation. Like the first time through that a new person does a system. So let's say that that system's all documented out and it's proven and known to work. And then the team member leaves, and then a new team member comes in, itchy ear for some reason, that the first time through that system, they need all the detail that they can get. Like it's got to be good enough that the detail is there. But if that team member has done it 20 times before, they probably don't need all the fine detail. The risk in that is that people become sloppy. And so knowing that you still need to keep an eye on people. Okay, I'm going to build there. All right, this is coming along. It's coming along. Okay, so in that one there, I'm noticing that there was a directionality in this. Like I've got to, so the next one of this, I've got to do the right direction. But I'm feeling pretty excited just to get these wing bits done. All right, so let's go to, I feel like that I'm spot on for this. And just being able to see the outside of the build just makes this so much easier. All right, here's the critical point here, that wherever the little thing, this must go on in that direction. Okay, so now that'll sit like that. So that's really cool. Okay, and then 2 more of these little wheels. And then, so this might be if you're into funnel hacking and you've been through the ClickFunnels training and their books, like Russell's books are awesome. Like do not underestimate how much work and experience has gone into those books. Like they're pretty much, they're required reading, really. I've been fortunate to have them heavily recommended by Garrett J. White out of Wake Up Warrior. And I'm a big fan of Warrior's business skill set. Like they also have killed it, in my opinion. Like if you're running a decent sized business, now remember for a long time that it was $10,000 to go to Warrior Week. And then on the back end of that was a whole bunch more experiences. And so it tended to be for business people, businessmen, well, Wake Up Warriors being businessmen, that are doing well. And that means that often there was a sacrifice to other areas of their life, their spirituality, their family, their bodies. And I think that's been one of the great gifts of Wake Up Warrior. They're like, hey, you can't just run a business. You also need to look after your spirituality. You need to look after your body, and you need to look after your family. All 4 of those must be on point. All 3 of those must be on point. And the interesting insight that Garrett had is that when those 3 were on point, poured into business. Now, the cool thing about Garrett is that he's also an amazing businessman. Like, his game before everything fell apart, he was killing it. Like, he was doing really well, and then the 2008 crash came and took him out, and he realized that his business game wasn't on point. And from that, though, yes, there was this exploration of these other three areas, this spirituality and his family and his body. But also, he got damn good at business. And so between those two, there's some heavy training there. If you want to get into Warrior, then head over to playwarrior.io. That's playwarrior.io, and that will get you into their training. There's some running right now, I believe there's some free experiences, a 7-day intensive, and then they have, I don't know if it's still available, but a 30-day or 42-day in-depth challenge. So I put one of my team members through, and I'll look to put all of my team members through that experience, because one of the problems that Warrior solves is bullshitting, lying, and that it is very hard to operate in business if the numbers or the work is said to be done, but it's not actually. And this temptation to lie is fascinating. It's absolutely fascinating. And one of the key aspects of Warrior is that I had to go through is to accept that I lie. I lie particularly to myself about not only things that I've done, but also things that I could do. Like, it's an interesting one. It's like I've had to confront my stories about what's possible for me in my life many times. And when the story changes, then the behavior changes. And so I've been stuck sometimes for days going nowhere. And then suddenly I crack the story and change that story. And it's no longer a thing. It could be a lie. It could just be a belief pattern that I inherited from my parents. And it shifts, and suddenly my world opens up. And they have this down to a science. There is a particular tool called the Stack that, oh man, it is fantastic. All right. Oh, I was going to get worried. I was like, where is the piece? Okay, I just found the next piece. And again, I want to pay attention to making sure that that goes on the right way.